If you asked me how I reached B1 in Spanish, you might be disappointed with my answer. Because it had very little to do with grammar or vocabulary lists, and almost everything to do with the person I decided to be and become. By the end of this video, you'll understand why learning a language, any language, Spanish, Mandarin, Portuguese, French, Japanese, whatever the ease. You'll understand why learning any language begins long time before you ever open a textbook, which I've never opened a textbook. Here's It's identity before ability. So we begin with the right answer, with the right questions, so that we can find the right answers. Some of the wrong questions are: how long is it going to take? Here's even the wrong question to begin with: what do I have to do? The first question we have to ask ourselves is: who do I need to be? And here's who you need to be. You need to be a person that doesn't believe in limitations. You need to be limitless. You need to say, there's nothing learnable that I can't learn. There's nothing doable that I cannot do. And there's nothing havable that I cannot have. So you have to be a limitless person. You have to be. Otherwise, you're always going to find an excuse as to why you can't do it. Hey man, the first miracle that any of us ever accomplished, yes, you're miraculous, was you were born with nothing in your head, with nothing. You were just born with nothing. You didn't even have clothes on. And then somehow you learned your first language. How did you do that? Because you were built to do it. So, there you go. Here's how, and there's another part to that. So the beliefs, and then who are you choosing to be on this brief journey that you have on this planet? Here's who I've chosen to be. Here's what has propelled my learning in Spanish. I have chosen to be a global humanitarian entrepreneur. That's it. A global humanitarian entrepreneur. And I've chosen to learn at least one main language from every continent because I will be doing business globally. So, therefore, I've chosen to be this person. Now I must do certain things, like, for instance, learn Spanish. You see? Okay. When learning another language, man, this just got way off track. Sorry, this is one of my first videos. It's going to be a bit rough. So, Spanish for me is inevitable because of who I've chosen to be. Okay. When learning a language, you need necessity. This is a necessity for me. Spanish is a necessity for me. So, here's necessity. If you all of a sudden move to, let's say you're learning Japanese, and you move to Japan, oh, there's a necessity. But what if you're not in Japan? What if you're in America, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna learn Japanese? You need to create necessity. You need to connect it to something, to two things, two different kinds of things, because we're either running towards something, we're either running towards a goal, or we're running away from things that we don't want to be a part of. What do they call this in psychology? They call it, it's like I forgot. Anyhow, everything that you do in your life is either because you want to attain something, or you don't want something else. Dang it. Yeah, I hope that you understand what I'm saying. Okay, so look, in my own situation, necessity changed everything. When I moved to Miami, when I got there, I was probably like A1, A2. I would say I was A2-ish, kinda. But in the new job I had, everyone spoke Spanish. So for everyone spoke Spanish. English is a second language in Miami. That's why I moved there. My entire team spoke Spanish. My family does not. Language became survival. Connect it to your survival. Connect language learning to your survival. So, yes. Now, if you don't have necessity in your environment by default, you have to create it. Here's how I would create. Here's how, because I'm back in Dallas. Here's how I'm creating it. Necessity. Well, I already told you. It's connected to my grand vision. So, I'm still conversating and reading and writing daily to further unlock it. It's not an option for me. Okay. So, I don't believe that I answered that properly. Oh, yeah, I have. It's just so simple. I feel like I need to say more, but I don't. Connect it to your. If what is the name of this goals? So we either have things that we're going towards or things that we're going away from. For instance, if you don't want to be poor, connect the language that you would like to learn. Connect that to you not being poor. Or if you have the goal of becoming rich, connect that language somehow to you becoming rich. So if you're if you're learning the Japanese, if you're learning Arabic, if you're going to go do business in Saudi Arabia, you're gonna need Arabic. Therefore, for you not to be poor and for you to become rich, you have to learn this Arabic. How do you think that people come to the United States knowing nothing of English and learn it, let's say, within a year? Don't be so obsessed with the time frame. Time's going to go by anyway. It's because they need it for survival. They need it for the things they desire. They need it to not die, basically, and they also need it to thrive. Yeah, it's simple. So, create necessity. Have a morning and a night. I have a system personally where I look at my goals and I look at who I've chosen to be. It is easy to lose yourself in the winds of life. It's easy, trust me. Look at your vision. Look at how you've connected this language to your needs, to your desires, to the things that you're avoiding. Oh, okay, that's what it's called. It's avoid-based goals or desire-based goals. But you can have both. Just be a complete human. You don't have to be either or. But if you know that you lean more towards your aspirations, focus on it more. But everyone has things that they're avoiding. So connect it to both, whether you're leaning on either side. Okay. Next. So in the morning, look at how this language keeps you. So quick recap. In the morning, look at how this language keeps you away from the things you're avoiding and how it propels you towards the things that you are working towards, like your dreams, desires, stuff like this. And do this at night as well. In the morning and at night. That way your mind stays set. And I would even do it midday. Therefore, you're always in the train of thought that is going to lead you to success. A quick note on this: your thoughts create your emotions, and your emotions are the reasons that you do what you do. Everyone does what they do because they feel like doing it. So there's no escaping emotion. You're an emotional creation. Just learn how to use your thoughts to manage your emotions and do the proper actions. Okay? Next, if you want to unlock a whole world, which is what learning another language does for you, you have to stop calling things hard. This applies to life. This applies to riding a bike. This applies to walking. This applies to business, languages, of course. Replace "this is hard" with "I haven't mastered this yet." I bet if there was... No, we're not going to go into that. It's all right. I haven't mastered this yet. But you can. So just keep doing the thing that will inevitably lead to it. So don't say, "How long is learning French going to take?" Say, "What do I need to do daily so that it is inevitable whenever it happens?" Because your situation is different from the next situation. What is hard? There are difficult things in life. There are things... I will say this. I won't even say that. I will say this. There are things in life that require more of you than other things. But I don't tell myself the story, because everything in life is the story that we're telling ourselves about it, including yourself. You are the story that you are telling yourself about yourself. And of course, what you actually do, and what you say. Nothing is hard. Some things require more of you than others, but if it is worth having, doing, or attaining, or being, then just do it. Life is too short to stop yourself with the story that you've told yourself. Because the same thing can be true. I can say making this video is hard because clearly I have not mastered making videos yet. Or I can say I haven't mastered it yet. Oh, so then if I haven't mastered it yet, I ought to show up tomorrow to continue to perpetuate the process of mastery. That's it. I'm a living example right now for you. So, repetition, consistency. How else will you repeat unless you are consistent? That's the only way. So, language, consistency, that's really it. Mastery is doing something until you can't not do it properly. You have mastered, I hope, tying your shoes. You don't know how many times it took you before you mastered it because you just let it happen. Luckily, you were young enough to where you weren't even thinking that way. So, it happened, and here we are. We're all masters of tying our shoe. The same can be true with the French that you're learning, or that you would like to learn, with the Mandarin that you would love to unlock, with Japanese that you would love to embody, with Arabic, anything in life, not just language. But we're talking about language. Just do it. Just repeat. 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 I stopped studying. When I moved to Miami, I stopped only studying and I started living. I was conversating, and still am. Reading, writing, comprehending. Not just listening, comprehending. Music, AI. You can have a conversation in any language for ChatGPT right now. And it's really good. It's really good. Tutors online like Tandem or Preply or italki. Real conversations. Here's the thing. If you're just learning by speaking out loud, no. You need to conversate. Speaking is not the same as conversating. When you're conversating, it requires your listening skill, your comprehension skills, your speaking skills. It requires emotional awareness. It requires social skills. These are not the same things. So yes, talk to AI and ChatGPT in the beginning, but if you're not in a place where the language is spoken, you have to hop on the online with somebody. You have to. You have to, brother. This is and sister. This is coming from someone that is actively doing both. It is not the same thing. Even conversating with AI, not the same thing as hopping online with my italki tutor. At all. It's not the same at all. It's not the same. It's not the same. It's similar, it's not the same. And if you don't interact with real people, what's the point of learning the language? So when I'm in Miami, A1, A2-ish, and doing all of these things, all right, we're connecting it to the big idea. I'm getting better already. One meeting really put things into perspective for me and gave me a lot of inspiration. Because maybe the beginning is slow, maybe it's not. Don't tell yourself a story about it, just do it. But I was at the barbershop, the new barbershop I was working, the Spot Barbershop. Shout out to Mr. Freddy's and Mr. Zach. Love you, brothers. The manager was conducting a meeting. It was the monthly meeting. And it was only in Spanish. Fam, when I tell you I understood like 70% of what he was saying, and I was like, whoa. I'm getting it. I'm unlocking this thing. I was already becoming the person that I had imagined. I was already doing what I had imagined doing. And that was very rewarding. And had I not been unlocking Spanish, had I not been consistent, well, I would have just been an English speaker in the corner, like, oh man, wonder what they're saying. Oh, are they talking about me? Oh. It was very rewarding, and that was only the beginning. Now, if we're talking, because a lot of people, let's talk now about accent. When I am speaking in Spanish with a Latin person, there have been many times when I tell them I'm not Latin that they don't believe me, or they don't believe me, and sometimes they don't believe me. This is because I've been using a not so secret way. It's called music, and there has been studies done on this. If you want to stop sounding crazy in the language you're learning, find some music that you enjoy in that language, and then memorize songs. Songs are one of the easiest groups of lots of words to memorize. And maybe this has a lot to do with how much you're enjoying it. Music is one of the purest passions of life. I don't know, but I know it works. I'm a living testament to it working. Now, is it the only reason my accent is good in Spanish? No, but it is a chico. You're gonna learn slang. You're gonna learn how they pronounce things. You're gonna learn. It's not the same as talking to ChatGPT. I'm gonna be honest with you. Music, accent, rhythm, slang, emotion, culture. Why? Okay, so music teaches the operating system. Operating systems of any language have a lot to do with emotion and how the life is viewed. Music's going to teach you all of that. Here's why a grammar book can't teach you that. A grammar book isn't going to teach you. First of all, you can't hear a grammar book. You can't comprehend a grammar book. You can comprehend it. You can't hear it. If you speak the way that you speak in your native language, in the language that you're learning, oh, brother, it's going to be so wrong. Languages have different nuances, different tones, different yeah, let's just stick with that. So, every time, where was I? Let me just think of the last example. I was in an Uber, and we're talking in Spanish, and he's like, where are you from? Where's your no? He literally asked me, where's your accent from? I said, what did I tell him? Well, he asked that, and then I just told him that I learned on my own. And he was like, wow. Yeah, that's all there is to that. It's because this happens all the time. It's not like an amazing thing. People are always asking, listen, in Spanish, there's many different accents. You have, like, Caribbean accents. You have European accent, which is Spain. They theta. You have many different subsets in Latin America. There's different. You have Mexican, which is like kind of different. Well, here's the thing. Mexico has a bunch of subsets. And then every other country has subsets. So there's so many to choose from. I just combine them. So a veces, sometimes I use European. Sometimes I'm using Caribbean. They say, for instance, amor. They say amor. Not all, but some. Or a Spaniard won't say entonces, they'll say entonces. Sometimes I use that. I use that a lot when I'm reading. But it's more than just words, it's tones as well. Anyhow, moving right along. Accent. And here's the amazing thing when you're starting from zero in a new language. You can choose whatever accent you want because your identity isn't telling you that you can't. Here we go back to identity. Who are you other than the person that you say you are? If someone looking at me would say, oh, okay, you're black, you're a black American. Oh my gosh. No, I'm not. I'm Miracle Omega. And we could add humanitarian entrepreneur. Other than that, I'm not American. I was born in a country called America, on a continent called America. I'm not American because I haven't let other people tell me who I am. Or they'll say, oh my gosh, they'll say I'm black. My shirt isn't even black. And look how dark it is. Do I look black to you? And then other people want to say, a police officer pulled me over one time. She said, what race are you? I said, oh, God. I knew in that moment I didn't have time for philosophy. So I just said, I didn't want to explain to her that we all came from the same place and that race it doesn't even exist. So, to keep things simple for her small worldview, I said, okay, my mother, people will call her white if they see her, and my father, they will call him black if they see him. So I said, okay, lady, ma'am, I am black and white. She said, oh, so you're black. Oh my gosh. No. I'm pretty sure the moment I just agreed. You can't cast your pearls amongst swine. It's all good. Anyway, I don't even know why I told you that story. Oh, identity. Because your identity is going to either limit you or it's going to prove your limitlessness. I don't go around saying, for instance, if I was Latin, but I heard a Spaniard, let's say I'm from Colombia, and I hear a person speaking in a European, from Catalonia, or let's just say I hear a Spaniard, and they're using a theta. What if I like the theta? And I say, man, I want to say entonces instead of entonces. Well, most likely, I'm saying, oh no, I'm Colombian, so I can't say it. That's what Spaniards say. Instead of just experiencing life, who's to tell you who you are? If you want to say a word differently, say the word differently. Who cares? It's like if I hear something, I grew up in Texas. If I hear something that a New Yorker says, and I like the way that they say it more than the way that I've been taught to say it, I'll just say how they say it. Coffee. I like coffee. Coffee. I want to say coffee. I like coffee. So I say coffee. Who's going to tell me I can't say coffee? You stole that from a New Yorker. Everything's borrowed. Your life is borrowed. All the wisdom in your head is borrowed. I can't borrow a word. Who's to say? I'm going to talk how I want to talk. A mi manera. And I suggest that you adopt that same point of view. Everyone around you is going to call you a faker or crazy, or I won't say everyone, but a lot of people. But this is why we have a 1%. This is why everyone is not excelling at everything that they do. Because clearly, the mindsets and identities and perspectives that most people, I have to say most because this is the case, have chosen are not serving them to the highest of their potential. Therefore, I automatically am not going to listen pretty much to anyone. Unless that you've proven with your results that you're the kind of person I can learn from. What I can learn from anyone. That I should be subject to their teaching. I'll say that. Anyway, not to get on a tangent. Let's go back to languages. You learned a language from day one. By the time you were 3 years old, you were communicating effectively. Therefore, it is very, very safe and wise and smart and amazing, and thank you, Yahushua, to say, humans, not just the other humans, you as well, fellow human, are built for language. This is why we're languaging right now. Because we're built for this. It's like how a horse is built to run. Now, that's not their only purpose. I'm not here to say. But clearly, running was built into their design. Yahushua did it. Don't blame me. Blame God. How did a baby learn unless we're built to learn language? If we did it once, we can do it again. And the first time that we did it, we were not nearly as wise, smart, aware, didn't have enough reasons than we do now. Think about it. The brain hasn't changed. The beliefs have. You have to get rid of your limiting beliefs. It's easier to believe in limitlessness than to believe in all of the things that are limiting you. If you are indeed a person that is being limited by their beliefs. Not to say you are. But I'm going to venture to say, knowing what I know about the top 1% in any domain, I'm going to venture to say you might probably have some limiting beliefs. I'm not attacking you. I'm just saying let's take inventory, because if you began this video, first of all, even saying that anything is hard, that is a limiting belief, my friend. Nothing is hard. It just requires repetition. Sometimes it just requires more of you. Because, for instance, if you have to go outside and if I had to go outside and work in a mine every day, I wouldn't tell myself that this is hard. I would figure out a way to wake up happy every morning and go to work. And that is probably one of the most, it requires a lot of you. But I figure it out. Based on the things that I told myself about me and about the situation and things like this. So, anyway, your brain hasn't changed. Only your beliefs. Take inventory, my friend. I didn't learn Spanish because I wanted another language. I learned it because I wanted another world. And am I completely fluent? By no means. Can I conversate with my Uber driver? I do it every time I'm in an Uber with a Spanish speaker. Every language expands your identity. If you're grasping too tightly onto, I'm American, or I'm Latin, or I'm Chinese, I'm Japanese, you didn't even choose this. That was given to you by default. Don't take too much pride in it. Now, if you love it, great. I love it as well. Trust me, I do love it. But if you grasp too tightly on a fixed identity, you will never expand. That's what I'm getting at. Every language is a new operating system. It's a new world to be experienced. But if you're only so tightly grasping on to, for me, it could be America. America! If I was grasping on too tightly to that, I wouldn't learn anything. So, your identity determines the size of the life that you can build. Choose wisely, my friend. And be you. Be great. Do great. Let's all have great together. Peace. Love y'all.